Welcome to Crafty Liz Creations. My name is Elizabeth. Today we'll be making a Canadian Patriotic wreath using the small unique and a creek board and white and red horizontal white stripe mess. And first, let me show you how I load up the board. Actually, let me show you this first here. So it is I did write down the W's and the R's for the white and red on here. We're using the 6-inch unique and a creek aluminum sign. Okay. So we'll load up our zip ties first on row 2, and then I'll show you how I did the mess. So we're loading up closed. So I'm gonna be adding these zip ties on every hole on row 2. Row 2 is loaded up. Row 2. And we'll go on to row 3 and do all the holes on row 3. And then we'll do the good stuff, which is making the pedal. The Dean Michael pedal is what I'm using tonight with the twist. So if you like the style wreath, the style method, you can always do your own. You don't have to make it this way. You can make it your own, like your own colors. If you're not a fan of the Canadian Patriotic wreath, that is, you can do your own style and colors. I just like to show you. I've done this before on a large board. This is the way that I'm gonna show you here. I've done it before, and it was good. It took a lot of mess, but it was beautiful, and I loved it. So, but I'm gonna try it on this small board. Okay, so all the zip ties are loaded up. As you can see, row 2 and 3 is loaded up. All 40 zip ties. Okay, next up, showing you how to do this petal. This petal and this petal. This is the Dean Michael petal cut in half. So I'll show you 4 here. Show you 4. I did cut these. I did wood burn these into 10 by 10 or over 10 inches because this is how over 10 inches wide. What I do to get that triangle is I just cut it in half. See, with a rotary cutter. So I just line this up on this tip. I'm going to line it up on a 19. And down here, same thing. So I get that almost perfect triangle. And then I'll put something heavy here. Just so you guys will see. Just like that. I make sure my manufactured edges are always top left, bottom right. Okay, so this is how I put that. And I'm just going to cut it. I can see through that line right here. So I'm just going to cut it right there. I tried to wood burn this part here, but I don't really have to. It took too long, so I stopped. So I set that aside and go on to the next one. Same again. Manufactured edges, top left, bottom right. Every time. Because I'll show you here why after. So just like that. We'll do the next one. Nineteen. And just like that. And so this is how I cut them into a triangle. And now we get a clip, a zip tie. Okay, so these tips I'm lining up and I'm pinning it. That's funny. And I'm just going to turn it sideways and just scrunch. Okay, let's stretch it a little bit because I want it to be elongated like these ones. Okay, so just gonna and scrunch on the other side. I'm gonna add a zip tie. Okay, just like that. And you got yourself a Dean Michael petal with a twist. What I mean by that is, let me show you. Let me show you. This is usually how we add our Dean Michael petals into the board. But for me, tonight, I'm going to add them sideways. So I'll need my zip tie right there. A zip tie head to be right there. Stretch them a little bit. Okay, so it's different. See? Okay, we'll finish up all these and then we'll start adding them into the board. And I hope, I'm just wondering if we'll need this part in here, but I don't think we will, but we will see. If we do, I'm gonna have to make more petals. I did cut up more mess over there, so we see. We shall see. Poly burlap is the best to make a Dean Michael, because for this one here, it's over 10.5 inches wide, and then I had to cut it over 10.5, just 10.5 inches. So for poly burlap, it's just 10 inches wide, so that would be the best want to do this kind of petal, but you can do it this way if you're gonna do your Dean Michael as well. It does take a lot of time, extra step in it, but it's worth it in the end, as your petals will lay almost perfect. It doesn't really take a lot of practice, I don't think so, but you just have to be patient and see what you like. There we go. We'll do another one, and then we'll add them into the board. Using clips is your best option as well when you do this style petal, I think. All right. Oh, that opened up. Redo that, redo that. There we go. Clips, I could have used the clip here, but I didn't. All right, so that's that for that one, and let's start adding them into the board, and we'll see. This is how I just try to, and then I push up my zip tie head towards sideways here. Okay, and I add them into the board. All right, so our small board has 5 W's up here. So we'll start with the 5 W's. This is the top part. So 5, white is what we'll add up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All my white are at the bottom here, so. All right, so what I mean by turning the zip tie should be sideways now is because I'm gonna add this Dean Michael petal sideways. Again, you can do any style this way. It looks so beautiful when you do sunflower like this. I've made one and I loved it. For my own decoration, I loved it. But the thing is, when you do this style wreath, see how well they're sitting. And when you do this style wreath, you can't flatten. You make sure you don't flatten this part here when you add your petals in the middle. So just like that, just pull on them so they'll be a little longer, and add them in there, just like that. And the next layer will be sitting in between, and they'll lay perfect. It is different. I've seen some. Again, I made a sunflower like this, and it's so beautiful, so beautiful. So, but this is the first time I'm making this style on a small board. We'll see if it works out, but I think it will. So the reason why I made sure my manufactured edges are at the top left, bottom right, is as you can see, my manufactured edges are laying. You can see all of them in front of you, and the cut edges are at the bottom. So that's a must. Okay, so the white, as you can see, are in there. This is different. And we now start with the red. I go in there like this to make sure that they're this shape here, like a little cup, just like that. And I start with the red. Red, more red. Oops, I keep dropping them on the floor. So what you need for this style wreath, for what I'm doing here, is 24 red and 16 white. So that's 40 petals. Or maybe a rainbow flower. Oh, rainbow flower would look good like this. Even my medicine wheel flower. But you have to be careful not to squash these down. But they are a little stiff. You could do one layer as well. But I prefer doing 2 layers as I am here. Like putting one on top of each other. Because they're a little stiffer like that. I think. They're a little sturdier. And yeah. Keep adding them. So for this row, you'll need 10 white and 14 red. Okay, just like that. And we'll start adding in the white. Grab 5 of them here. Oops, I dropped those on the other side of the table. Oh no. Okay. So again, I'm just making sure my zip tie is facing up, so when I go to put into the zip tie, it'll be a good anchor and won't come out. Just like that. I like that. I think that's cute. Ready? I tried before I came on here. I was just testing out which petal I wanted to do, this one or the other, or the one where you don't cut it in half. I think I like this one better because the other one, when I scrunched it and when I flipped them on top of each other, it didn't lay right for me. I didn't like it. It looked a little sloppy to me, so that's why I ended up using this one here. So we'll go back to the red. So we'll need 7. 6 and 7. So I'm just making sure, I'm just pulling that to make it a little longer. So I almost did the Rita petal for this, but that's been done before, so I wanted to do something different. Something different. Takes a little, quite a while to do these petals. It's a process, but I think it'll be good. It's worth it. So you can see some of my petals aren't laying right, but we'll fix them in the end. This is the part where I said that when you go to add your petals into here, now you don't go like this. You make sure your arms are away from the mess here, because you don't want to squash them. Okay, so that is done. Look at that. So some of these are not laying right for me, but I'll fix them a little later on. Okay. All right, so that's that. As you can see, which one's the top? This one is the top. So there's my Canadian. This year's Canadian Patriotic. Okay, let's add those into the board. Clean this up a little bit. Alrighty, so where's my, oh, here it is. Okay, so we'll go to the top again. And the top over here, this is the middle right here. This is these are the three, right? We'll be adding 3 white. 3 white and 5 red, 3 white, 5 red. That's what I'm gonna do here. Okay. I hope you can see this. Good. So that's how they'll be sitting. One in between. Oh, I like that. Next one. Kind of a 3D-ish effect here. Red. Make sure they're sitting sideways, both ends. Make sure. Yep, they're good. Good. The Dean Michael petal. Sitting sideways. The famous Dean Michael. it's kind of hard here if it just lifting up your elbows up here just so you won't squash your petals too, but it works. Just making sure again they're sitting sideways, both ends of this petal here. Just like that. Ooh, I like that. I like that. So we need one more red in there, and then we'll start with the white again. I think the first one I did last year was not live. I was just testing it to see what it looked like, and I liked it. I used one layer petal though. I didn't double it up like what I'm doing here. It looked good too, but I like this better. Oh, white. And yeah, I tested it out on the large board last year, I believe. But I never came live with it. I didn't have time, so, but I'm showing you here now. It is full, yep. It's full. I just need to get these all nicely lined up here. And you don't see the board as well, so. So they're just making sure that when I add the petal, both these open edges here are sideways, and they'll lay right for you. Some might want to turn on you when you zip them up. Okay, so we'll add the last 5 more. One fell over. Okay, there's one on the floor over here. I just hope we don't see the board when we add our 6-inch in there. But I don't think we will. Oh. What you can do here also is you can put these in between the outer layer petals, but I like this look, so I'm not gonna do that here. Guys. I'm only doing the second and the third row for this. The outer row, it would have been even more full and would have needed more petals. But I need to grab my petal, hold on. But I think this is a decent size for a small board. I gotta stand up for this, but I'm gonna squash my petals here. So it's sitting right, yep. All right, let's cut those off. Hope to see sunflowers like this on Unique Wreath Creators. Or rainbow flowers. Oh, I'm scared I might squash a tip. Almost. I missed that. There we go. That's all cut up. So here's our 6-inch. Where's the top? This one's the top. Our 6-inch sign from Unique in the Creek. So I'm just gonna add that. I made 2 holes. Hey, I'll show you what I did. So yeah, it does fit quite nicely. This this sign, just snug in there. It's a 6-inch sign. So that's where I added it. I'm just going to put that into the hole. Just like that. We'll grab our hanger. And there it is. Some of these are turned slightly sideways, but I'll fix them. Like this one right here. But they'll look good, I think. This one is kind of turned sideways. Okay. All right. I think we're done. So there's our this year's Canadian Patriotic from me. Right there it is. So it is full. Look at that. It's so pretty and different.